We are all experiencing an unprecedented time in our lives right now. The level of uncertainty, anxiety, and fear can be overpowering as we learn to navigate in our new world, all doing our part, whether it be social distancing, staying home, and abiding by federal guidelines. There are so many on the front lines who are battling a war against an invisible enemy. Being on the front lines can place a person's physical and mental health in jeopardy. A team of professionals has come together and created a program called Resilient Minds on the Front Lines to bring tools, knowledge, skills, and instruction to assist in a time of need. This team is dedicated to helping those who help others. On today's webcast, we are honored to have Olivia Mead, founder and CEO of the nonprofit YogaShield, Yoga for First Responders. Olivia discusses how to process stress, building resiliency, and enhance job performance utilizing yoga. Your hosts for today's webcast are Master Resiliency Instructor Michael Pellegrino and Lacey Wolf, an exercise physiologist and Master Resiliency Instructor.
Resilient Minds on the Front Lines was created to bring you 15 minutes of hope in a world turned upside down. The topics in our webcast are all meant to help those on the front lines help themselves and others. Today, Olivia Mead asked the question, why yoga for resilience? Olivia talks on how moving the body with yoga can help increase resilience as well as help alleviate stress that leads to physical and mental health problems. She also provides us with tools and techniques to help us with our daily stressors. This will also help us along our journey to being resilient. Be safe, be healthy, be resilient.
I'm Olivia Mead, the founder and CEO of the nonprofit organization YogaShield, Yoga for First Responders. I teach yoga to military personnel and public safety for the purposes of processing stress, building resilience, and enhancing job performance. Why yoga for resilience? Maybe you've heard that yoga is a good option for wellness, but you aren't sure why or where to start. Now more than ever, the world is giving us an opportunity to advance our resilience. We just have to put the training in place and shift resilience from a conceptual conversation to a tactical tool. Stress and anxiety initiate from our mental perceptions and are exemplified on how the nervous system reacts to those perceptions. If we perceive danger, our nervous system goes into an activated stress response. Stress hormones and traumatic memories are then stored in the tissues of the body. When stress accumulates in the body over time, we become stiff and vulnerable to injury, leading to further stress-based physical and mental health problems. To process stress hormones out of the body must move. And to regulate the nervous system after activation, there must be a change in respiration patterns and mental perceptions. This demonstrates that stress, trauma, life challenges, and adversity affect the mind, the body, and the nervous system. Therefore, all three areas must also be addressed when we train in resilience. The original intention of yoga training is to master the mind and have optimal functioning of the entire psychophysiological systems. Yoga doesn't just train the body to be more strong and flexible, as most people think. Yoga uses breathing techniques to train neurological fitness, physical techniques to process stress and enhance functional movement, and mindfulness meditation to strengthen mental capacity and fortitude. All of this increases resilience. Yes, strength and mobility can be a result. But touching your toes isn't what will keep you on the job and thriving. Like any other skill you want to master, resilience is also susceptible to training. Yoga is the tactical training for resilience. Mindfulness is simply an exercise of objective observation that allows us to absorb real-time feedback without bias or judgment. Be careful to not confuse mindfulness for slow or yoga for easy. Think of mindfulness as alert presence or concentrated awareness. Training in mindfulness allows you to make real-time course corrections in rapidly changing circumstances. When anything is done mindfully, including yoga, you train the brain to notice small details, to stay alert and respond to situations accurately versus emotional reactions that could be misguided because of those strong emotions or stress. The Yoga for First Responders methodology believes that, like any other training, resilience must begin as a proactive approach. We also believe that resilience asks us to grow from adversity and not just bounce back. Yoga provides a training tool that is proactive and proven to change brainwaves and hormone levels. Yoga gives you a technique to train your brain and your nervous system to improve with stress by responding to situations with the challenge type of stress instead of the depleting type of stress. This is often referred to as post-traumatic growth versus post-traumatic stress. Post-traumatic growth is available to all of us. We just need a manual and a training tool to access it. Curious where to start? Let's try the first and most important pillar to the physical aspect of yoga training: breath work. Breathe in through your nose and inflate your entire torso from the lowest part of your belly up to your collarbone. Hold the breath in. Now, very slowly and controlled, take as long as you can to exhale. Nose or mouth are fine as long as it's purposeful. Let's do that again, inflating the belly, expanding the ribs, and breathing all the way up to your chest in a slow count of 3. Here we go. Inhale through the nose. Belly 1, ribs 2, chest 3, keeping the shoulders low. Now hold the breath in for 2 counts. 1, 2. Now slowly exhale for 5 counts. 1, exhaling 2, controlled and slow, 3, 4, and all the way out for 5. Do this a couple more times on your own. It takes a lot of mind discipline to focus on a simple exercise such as this. Make more space for yourself to breathe by sitting up taller and expanding the entire cylinder of your torso from the kidney and belly, pressing against your belt, the waist, ribs, and shoulder blades. Hold in for a count of 2 and a controlled exhale for 5, evenly 4, 3, 2, and all the way out every drop for 1. That's all it takes. This technique is called 3-part breath with coherency breath. Your heart rhythm has now been changed to a more coherent state. This isn't only changing beats per minute, but increasing heart rate variability as well. This is proven to enhance performance and the balance between activation and regulation. Data from research suggests that outcomes from an increase in heart rate variability include increased performance and decision-making, decreased driving accidents, and increased community safety. Finally, you are only as resilient as your ability to recover. Yoga has built-in recovery techniques that can be practiced multiple times a day. When you are able to be with high stress in a controlled way, and you have the techniques to regulate and recover with consistency, you are resilient and ready to go out in the field the next day, and then emotionally transition to be with friends and family when that time comes. If you want this ability in your tool belt, you don't need a yoga mat or yoga pants. You just need your breath and a willingness to discipline and train the mind. This is what Yoga for First Responders students around the country have had to say about training with yoga. I found the breathing portion to be most beneficial. It is something that can be used on a daily basis and out in the field. It is simple enough for anyone to understand and participate. Yoga helps not only improve your physical well-being, but also your mental well-being. After hearing that, why wait? Now is the time to start. Let's get resilient.
We just heard from Olivia Mead, founder and CEO of Yoga for First Responders. And Olivia does a great job of explaining how yoga can help us to enhance performance, build resiliency, and process our stress. And it does that through mindfulness, breath work, and physical training drills. One of the things I love that Olivia said was that we're taking conceptual conversations and turning them into tactical tools. When we learn about resiliency, we may understand the concept, but through the yoga practice, we're able to actually apply those concepts that we learn, and we understand our own thinking patterns and that we can actually change them. Viktor Frankl, who is one of my favorite authors, said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. And again, yoga is the vehicle that gives us this space to learn about ourselves so that we can take that time to change our response and we can understand what's actually going on. Olivia also talked about the fact that yoga is rooted in breath work. Everything that we do is grounded in how do we breathe. And the breathing, as we also heard in the mindfulness webcast, is our access point to our autonomic nervous system. And if we learn how to regulate our breathing and we focus on that for a little bit every day, then when things get really hard and we get out in the world and we're challenged, we know how to regulate the breathing, but it has to be a practice. It can't be something that we just know conceptually. And again, this gives us the opportunity to apply that skill. And the other thing that yoga does for us, it helps us to build physical strength. The physical drills that we do can help to build muscular endurance, muscular strength, and they can also help us to become more mobile so that we have a lot more flexibility and our bodies can endure the challenges that they may face. Also, as we challenge our bodies, what we notice is that our minds get stronger too. And we notice when we have that pushback, like, I don't think I can do this. You know what? I can do this. I'm going to push through this. I'm going to change the way I'm breathing right now, and I'm going to endure. And when we learn how to do that and we put that stress on our body, our mind is also getting stronger. Remember that yoga is not about touching your toes, and it has nothing to do with what kind of pants you're wearing. It's a skill set that's accessible to everyone. And Yoga for First Responders has done a great job of making it accessible. They have a new virtual academy that is free for 60 days. And you can just click the link below this webcast and check that out, sign up for it. And if you only have 3 minutes before you go on a shift, you could do a 3-minute breathing drill. Or if you get off a shift and you need to process some stress, if you had a really rough day, you can do a 10 or 15 minute stress reduction class, and that can help you to sleep better and to down regulate from whatever you've been going through. I just want to say thanks to Olivia for being on this webcast and for putting out such great content for all of us. And thank you to Resilient Minds on the Front Lines for continuing to host these webcasts that are giving people access to tools that they may have not known about otherwise. I hope all of you frontline workers out there and your families are staying safe, staying healthy. Keep building that resiliency and come back for more of these webcasts because we got some good ones coming for you. Thanks so much.
During the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, your mental health is vital. Please see the resources listed here as well as on our website at onthefrontlines.us. You are not alone.